All right, so next question, why nobody wants to buy my SaaS and what can I do about it? That's a great question. I see this every single day in consulting sessions. If you don't know me, my name is Riley Giles. I'm a startup advisor and investor. And yes, this video is filmed from a plane. This is not a fake background. Okay, so question. So why nobody is buying or using your SaaS or your service? That also works for a service. So here's are the main reason that I see a lot in consulting sessions. So number one, you're building something useless. I'm sorry to put it this way, but you're building something useless. 42 to 43% of startups fail because they're building things that the market doesn't want or need. Essentially building something useless. So what can you do about it? The quick solution is test with your user, test demand, see if people are interested with the idea of the solution even before you build it. So that's the best way to make it work. So test demand as fast as possible, and ideally before building the solution, because that's the only way to make sure that this is working. Number two, so you're building something that is actually useful, but nobody's coming, and nobody's coming because nobody knows you exist. That's that simple. So you've built that stuff, but you haven't built distribution. You haven't prepared people for that big solution that you have developed, and so now you are chasing customers one by one, and so nobody knows you exist. And so the way to do that is, again, trying to prepare the demand before the solution comes out. And so what you want to do is, before building the solution, try to create a list of about 100, maybe 150 people who are at least slightly interested in what you're about to release, and then raise the momentum about what's coming. Look at movies, for example. They release trailers sometimes 1 year before the movie because they want to prepare you to be ready to jump on the movie the minute it enters theater on day one. And so that's what you need to do. So prepare. So if you haven't built a SaaS, prepare demand before you release your SaaS or service. But if you've already made it, you've made that mistake. I mean, it's a classic mistake. I made it multiple times. Everyone does it. But if you build that SaaS or service, now you're running after people. What you have to do is be strategic. I call this sell fish in a fish market. So the idea is that if you have fish, if you're a fisherman, the best place to maximize your chances of getting people to buy your fish is in a fish market. So you are going where the demand is. And so ask yourself, where are the people who are most likely to be impacted positively by my SaaS? Not buying, but be impacted, because that's the most important thing. You just want to sell your SaaS or service. You want people to gain something out of it. And so ask yourself, where are those people on the internet, in the real life? This could be a startup event, this could be an event, this could be a game convention, a Comic-Con, whatever. Where are they, and where's the high density of them in a short, like, square meter or square mile, right? Because you want to maximize that input. You want to go to a small room filled with people who will love to use your SaaS and get values out of it. So that's the thing. Now we jump one level. So we did you built a useless thing. Now you fixed it. Now you built it. Nobody came. Now people came, but they sort of don't really stay. And so here, that probably means, like, statistically, what I have sort of my observable reality is people have a crappy onboarding, and so they get to your SaaS, they try it, they buy it, and then they just churn, leave it immediately. And so it's often because you kind of fool them with the value proposition. So they saw something super exciting, like an ad or a landing page, etc. And then when they open your SaaS, it's like those clickbait YouTube video. They opened it, they watched the first 10 seconds, they got hyped, and then they got into the content and realized, nah, that's not what you promised me. And so that is also like the classic mistake, the crappy onboarding. So make sure the onboarding is essential. I mean, the word has been invented for that, onboarding. So you want people on board of your SaaS, and you want to make sure they're onboarded properly. And so here, my sort of advice is do things that don't scale. Don't try to make something that's fully automated that takes people from A to Z automatically. Do it manually. Introduce yourself as the CEO of the SaaS, and that you want to personally onboard people into your SaaS. Of course, don't do that for everyone, but try to do it for the first 10, 20, 30, 50 users, so you'll get tremendous amount of value. I can tell you that. I do that all the time, and you get tremendous amount of value. And even that, people love it. Like, imagine you watching this video on YouTube, you get welcomed, you want to become a creator and push videos on YouTube, and you get onboarded by the CEO of YouTube. You're planning on using ChatGPT and you get onboarded by the CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman. You'd love it, right? So do the same. So fix your onboarding is super important. And then the last element, the number 4, I'm going a little bit beyond the basic question, but I think it's super important. So now you fix your onboarding and people still don't get it and they leave. They actually churn. And so here you may have a problem between the value of your SaaS and the price. So essentially, for people, it's a simple balance. I'm putting $100 into a SaaS. I want to get at least 120, maybe 200, maybe 500 of value back. If I don't get that value back, I'll be like, yeah, that's not worth my investment. So when people buy SaaS or services, especially in the B2B world, business to business, they're looking for the return on investment. And if you get 1-2% return on investment, that's not crazy. You really want good value. And so maybe your SaaS brings a little bit of value, but it's not enough for the price. And so you either have to decrease the price or increase the number of features that you're providing. And that are four things. That are 4 things that you can do to fix your SaaS or service. I gave you 4 elements. We went slightly above the regular the question that was announced, but I hope this brought you value. Again, we're talking about value. Let me know if you like this type of videos where I'm answering your questions. If you have SaaS or service questions or startup questions, drop them in the comments. If you're too shy to share those questions, I'll drop a quick form in the description so you can send your questions privately and I can answer that. And see you on the next video. Take care. Boom.